that he had prior to going to prison, just to get familiar with exactly what type of guy he was and what type of encounters the police were having with him that made him feel like it was time for him to go to prison. Now, if you're familiar with the justice system, you know they never just send you to prison right off the top. Unless you got like a murder case or something. When you're doing stuff like burglaries, you usually get 1 or 2 before you get sent to prison, especially as a juvenile.
What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? We're Sharp type of TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cook, cracking the same, cracking the same here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge, though. You're not going to get nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with that tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with the tap in. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, hit all. Tap in with that latest and that greatest, what we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Finna slide over here to good content on the man, notification bell, hit all. Let's get into this 1090J exposed how he snitched his way out of a life sentence. God damn. Okay, let's get into this.
So we gonna look into some of the Great White Blood's previous police contact and see exactly how much of a problem he was for the Tampa PD. Now we gonna start with this battery arrest. Apparently, the Great White Blood was arrested for battery September 25th, 2012, which was just a few days before he was actually arrested for the burglary that sent him to prison. Now, according to this documentation, the victim in this case was a stranger. Also, according to this documentation, the victim provided the following statement. The victim stated that he was at the bus station waiting to catch the bus home when he saw 2 males arguing and thought that they were going to fight. The victim stated that he walked to throw something away in the trash can when one of the males, who was wearing a red shirt, later identified as Jacob Cherry, said, "What are you looking at?" The victim stated that in return, he said, "Hey, I thought you guys were going to fight." The victim stated that that is when the male in the red shirt began to threaten him. He said something in return. The two began to exchange
So basically, 1090J got involved in something that had nothing to do with him at all.
words, and he thought that they were going to fight. But he noticed that he was surrounded by about 6 of the guy in the red shirt's friends, and so he decided to just walk away. The victim stated that after he walked away and went to go stand by another bus, the guy in the red shirt followed him, approached him, and hit him twice. Once in the head, once under the eye. The victim refused medical treatment but stated that he did want to press charges. He positively identified Jacob Cherry, aka 1090 Jake, as the guy who hit him. Now, Jake would be taken into custody and arrested for this. While in custody, he would waive his Miranda rights and sit down and talk to the police about this incident. For some reason, this paperwork is redacted. I've seen a lot of paperwork come out of Florida now. Jake has put out a lot of paperwork from Florida himself. But for some reason, his statement in this case is redacted. Now, Jake was the perpetrator in this situation, but maybe he said something that could have led to some other perpetrators. Maybe he identified some of those 6 guys that were around him that the guy said surrounded him. Who knows what he said, but whatever he said, the police were adamant about not releasing that statement. After seeing this...
So it seems like 1090 Jake is being protected. He might have been a little bit of a cooperant, a little bit more helpful than what he wants to, admit to, but, you feel me?
I started to realize that the Great White Blood might be a little bit more experienced at gaming the system than I might have gave him credit for. And so I decided to go back and look at the actual burglary case that sent him to prison, and something really stood out to me. The burglary actually happened October 1st, but Jake's co-defendant was arrested October 2nd because he was involved in another investigation, and the police discovered one of the weapons that was reported stolen. Apparently, they ran the serial numbers, and figured that the stolen weapon was related to the case that they had just gotten a call about. Easy to put together, and it don't take much time to type in the serial number. So that wasn't a big deal. But just a few days later, Jake himself was arrested, and he was caught with one of the firearms. And I'm pretty sure they did the same thing, ran the serial number, and boom, it comes back, hey, this was reported stolen, and now Jake himself is connected to this burglary. This is what I want you all to pay attention to. As soon as Jake was arrested, the police got search warrants for the phone. Jake was arrested October 7th. The next day, they got search warrants for the phone, meaning that they were aware that some information related to this burglary.
Damn, 1090 Jake, as soon as you get arrested, niggas get warrants for the fizzones? What did you tell them people, bro? Now that right there seems very similar to when Wack got caught up in Texas and then all of a sudden all the main streets go down. So, crazy series of events.
Might be in these phones. They were made aware of that for certain. If you look at the notice of discovery file for his co-defendant Tyree Sanders and Jacob Cherry, then it will tell you that there's a list of witnesses, Troy Williams and all of these other people, which includes Jake's aunt. This list includes Jake's aunt, but it also says below is a list of information and materials within this discovery packet. Pursuant to rule number, this is section B, but pursuant to rule 3.220, it says written, recorded, or oral statements of the accused. And it says yes, meaning that one of the two people accused in this situation has provided a statement. Now, considering that they didn't get the search warrants until after Jake was arrested, I was pretty sure which one of these guys made the statement. But I was even more convinced when I went back and listened again to Jake as he explained how he found out that his co-defendant was going to be a state witness in the case.
Police went to my co-defendant's house. They knocked on the door, they smelled the weed, they started to do a search. They found 2 handguns, they found a shotgun, and then they found like random stolen stuff from a completely other situation, like TVs and whatnot.
This is one of the things that further made me think that Jake was the one lying here, because he says that the TVs and all that stuff weren't connected to the burglary. But the paperwork shows that the victim of the burglary actually identified all of that stuff as things that were taken from him. So it sounds like Jake trying to hide his little drug.
Damn, it's trying to sound like
drug addiction.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like 1090 Jake was on some junkie-ish and got caught stealing like Ezel.
I want to let us know that they was out here stealing TVs and computers and stuff.
The shotgun was legal because if you're over 18 with no felony, you can get a shotgun or rifle. The 2 handguns, the serial numbers trace back to that same specific house. My co-defendant gets caught with 2, and then like a week later, I get caught, and it's another one from the 15 that went missing.
Okay.
So at that point, they had us tied in.
This further let me know that Jake's co-defendant was not the one who made this statement to the police about this incident, because if he had done so, then they wouldn't have had to catch Jake with the weapon to tie him in. He would have been tied in because dude would have just said, hey, Jake was with me. Instead, Jake was arrested in a completely unrelated incident and caught with one of the stolen weapons. Now he's saying, oh man, they got us tied in.
And, you know, I went to court, and when they take you to court in Tampa, they put you underground and you're in this big cell full of like 40 people. And I'm in there with him, with my co-defendant, the kid whose house got searched or whatever, but he's looking real nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he might talk.
It wasn't really that, because I did a lot with this kid, but
maybe 1090 Jake was the one looking like the snitch. Maybe 1090 Jake was the one looking like he was nervous, or he might have had some things to, you know, hide from the public.
I didn't know him well. I was introduced to him by someone else, but the same day I met him, I found out what he was about, more or less. So we started doing stuff together, and I felt confident that we can make some moves together. And within the short amount of time we knew each other, we got a lot done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's ready to jump the gun and say, well, he looking nervous. He must have talked. Jake like, no, he wasn't talking yet. Which is telling on himself, actually, but he doesn't realize that he's telling on himself. So, yeah, he's saying he looking nervous. I guess he's trying to say that the guy was looking scared of the situation. But from what we know about Jake, Jake is probably reversing the
It definitely sounds like 1090 Jake is telling a story about himself and putting it on someone else.
roles. But in any case, he's establishing that there was no information that this guy had talked yet. So just think about this. They had been locked up. They had gone to court. They were at a preliminary hearing or whatever. And the police hadn't told him, hey, yeah, your co-defendant already told us. So the guy that was with you told us. And that's usually what they do when they pick you up on charges like this and take you in the interrogation room. So at this point, the police have given him no inclination at all that Jake was incriminated by his co-defendant. Jake wants us to believe that they just charged both of them with this because they both got caught with weapons that were, involved in the burglary. And then they searched the phones, just miraculously just decided, hey, let's get search warrants for these phones. And I can't even lie to you. That ain't how that really worked. But let's keep going. At this point, we know that this co-defendant...
No, that's not how that works. Because for them to have a warrant for the phones, it means that they have probable cause to obtain that warrant. You can't get a warrant without probable cause. A warrant means that you want to look into something. It means that something's going on, that you want to check it out. And, as well, a search warrant is as far as that's concerned. It means that something's going on that you want to check it out. And you need a judge to agree with you for your reasoning and want to be inside them people's stuff. So for a search warrant to be issued, that means that there's a probable cause that a judge felt was valid enough to be all up in your SHIT.
And it didn't talk at the police station. That's not why they picked Jake up. We also know that by the time they had gotten to court, he hadn't talked. And to be honest, after they take you from the station and take you to the county, they don't really come talk to you no more. You know what I'm saying? They don't keep coming down talking to you unless they got more cases to question you about. So from the police station, he didn't talk. He got to the county, he obviously hadn't talked. He's telling Jake he thinks someone else is talking. Hint, hint.
And he's telling me that someone else is talking already. He's like, yeah, this person's talking. But from what I know, they have nothing to do with the case, period. Not involved with it, not arrested for it, not charged with it. So it's not making sense to me.
Now, based on what I know from looking into this situation, I believe that his co-defendant was telling him that he thought his aunt was talking. And that's why Jake is trying so hard to exclude this person. But if you look at it, the person who got robbed is not his aunt. It's his aunt's wife's relative. So his aunt was not a witness to this case.
Damn, 1090 Jake, your story keep flushing further and further down the toilet.
She was not there when the burglary happened. She was not involved in any kind of way that would require her to be a witness. The only way she could be a witness in this is if she was saying something to the effect of something Jake told her or something that she knew about this case as a result of an interaction with Jake. So that's why Jake doesn't want to know that person got nothing to do with it. They not involved. He was trying to protect her by, removing her from the story. But I believe that that's what hey, man, your aunt got to be talking. But Jake tried to deny it. Of course, dude is just using his common sense. Like, man, I get caught. Now they coming back telling me the whole story, talking about we cut through the fence and they done got a search warrant for my phone and all of this stuff after you get arrested.
We go to court. We basically just plead not guilty. We go back, whatever. The next time I went to court, I'm by myself now. I don't see him. And
that's definitely tricky, icky, Mickey, Vicky, sticky.
This was later on in the case, you know what I'm saying? Like later on in the courts, because I only did about 6 months in county. And I go to another one. He's there. His mother's there. He's got a lawyer now, big souped up fat guy. And he just won't look at me. So I go back And I make a phone call. I called them and I'm like, yo, I think da-da-da snitching. And I'm dumb at the time. Like, I'm green. I don't know. I shouldn't have did it. I'm like, man, y'all go handle that. You know what I mean? I'm mad. I'm going off on the phone. So I go to confinement and
talking on the phone spicy is crazy in jail.
I talk to the captain. I'm like, Captain, what happened? So they let me know, like, were you on the phone saying things you shouldn't have been saying? I didn't say nothing because I'm not going to play dumb. You know what I mean? I was just like, damn, I wasn't even really thinking.
Now, the great white blood basically just told...
And that's probably when he started snitching on everybody else because he got caught up and now he's like, man, I ain't trying to catch no new charges. Let me put this on these niggas.
Told us that the police came and got him based on some conversations that he was having on the phone, and that he would not play dumb with them because he knew that he was talking on the phone, which is basically saying that he was talking about his case on the phone, and when they came and got him, he fessed up to it, or at least he didn't deny it. At the same time, anybody with common sense, especially people who have been through the system, and the great white blood claims that he was taken through the juvenile situation before this situation, so he definitely should have known. But everybody knows that you do not discuss your case on the phone. It literally says these calls are recorded and monitored. So,
and it says the phone number that you're calling from is subject to being monitored and recorded after the fact.
One thing that snitches like to do on the slick side is they get on the phone and talk about their case. You know, he don't play big and bad. I don't want to talk to no detectives, but then get on the phone and tell his aunt, I didn't even do anything. He's the one that went in the house and he's the one that got caught with the weapons and he just gave me one afterwards. Those types of things. Now, this would make the perfect explanation for why his aunt ended up on the witness list, and that would make the perfect explanation for why your boy ain't looking at you at court or want to talk to you, because he came and told you, hey, your people talking and you acting like you don't know what's going on.
Meanwhile, you the one that put him up to talk.
But meanwhile, you getting on the phone, calling home, talking about who you think is snitching. You didn't even get no paperwork yet saying that this dude had talked on you. So you get on the phone saying you think he's snitching, incriminating yourself and him.
While I'm in confinement, I get a letter, from court, because you get all your paperwork mailed to you. I get the paper, I open it up. It's got my co-defendant's name, and it says he went from my co-defendant to a state witness.
Oh, man.
Now, throughout this entire part of the story that he's telling, Jake never mentions that his aunt was a witness on this case. And the reason that's a big deal is because, like I said, she was not the victim of the burglary. It didn't happen at her home. She was not a witness to the burglary because obviously nobody was home. She was not involved in the planning and perpetrating of the burglary, or that would have made her a co-defendant. So exactly what role does she play in this where she is a witness? Makes you wonder, right? I got a pretty good idea. A pretty good idea. I'm pretty sure Jake got on the phone and confessed everything to her, and she told everything to the detectives. So now this co-defendant is in this situation where he and his homie went and did a lick and got caught. And now the homie's family is trying to turn witness and blame everything on him. That's the situation that he found himself in.
Man, 1090 Jake set up his homie, boy. And you use your auntie to do it. You a flu flammer.
What would you do in that situation? Would you sit back and let them blame everything on you while they take him to court and file motions to suppress evidence saying that he was illegally detained so they can get the gun thrown out? And then if they get the gun thrown out, there's nothing that connects him to the burglary. And now you're just taking a ride by yourself. What would you do in that situation? Would you just sit back and say, hey, well, you know what? I'm going down, man. It is what it is. Or would you look at it as, hey, if his aunt is telling details about this burglary, then that means he must be telling her the details about this burglary, and he's trying to slick snitch through his aunt so he can avoid his name being in paperwork.
Right, but you third-party snitching through your auntie. You giving her information that she needs to go snitch on your behalf. You loose cannon Sharice Bill snitching.
While throwing me under the bus. Which one would you be thinking is going on? Just from reading the paperwork, I have no doubt. But just in case you have any doubt, I want you to listen to this.
I will never forget the day that he was arrested for this big thing that he did that got him sent to prison. And the detective was video or audio taping, recording all my phone calls with Jake from jail. And the detective called one day and I spent 2.5 hours on the phone with him.
Yeah, you heard it right. Right from her own lips. The detective was listening in on the calls, and he called her, and she talked to him for 2.5 hours. Now, she never mentions that she was a witness against Jake in this case.
Damn, that's 2.5 hours worth of just straight snitching and telling and audio tape. Good setup by the auntie.
And Jake doesn't either, but we know that she was, and Jake knew that she was at the time. Yet he continued to call and talk to her. And I know y'all gonna say, man, that's harsh. That's his aunt. That's the only family he has. Well, that makes it even more likely that he got on the phone and confessed to her, admitted his wrongdoings, and tried to plead, for forgiveness. That makes it even more likely. So guess what? The detective sat back, they listened to it, they put the whole case together off of those phone calls, and then his co-defendant comes in after seeing that on November 19th, he got discovery, and in that discovery was listed Jake's aunt as a witness with information about the case that only he and Jake might have known. So he knew that Jake was talking on him. He knew that Jake's aunt was talking on him. They was doing some third-party snitching stuff. So he said, you know what? November 19th, she's a witness against me. December 14th, he decided to give his own statement. Now, if he's going to save his own skin, he has to proffer himself. His mother is not in any way involved in this situation. She has no knowledge of anything. She's not connected to anybody. So she can't come in and give a statement for him that will work in his favor. Meanwhile, Jake's family knows that he robbed them.
I didn't want to get out of prison and have to live in a homeless
Wait, so 1090 Jake was on drugs robbing his auntie? Oh yeah, he's a junkie.
shelter because I wasn't able to go back to my aunt's. I wasn't able to go back there. She has 2 adopted kids. I'm just getting out of prison. My victim is her wife's relative. Someone that I knew had a whole bunch of guns. I went and broke inside of their house and took them. You know what I mean? So I can't ask to come back into that household.
And they are still on the phone pleading with the detectives for him to get let off easy.
I will never forget the day that he was arrested for this big thing that he did that got him sent to prison. And the detective was video or audio taping, recording all my phone calls with Jake from jail. And the detective called one day and I spent 2.5 hours on the phone with him. And I told him what Jake is like as a person, who he is, what his upbringing is. I tried to explain that there was more to this person than what he sees and who he arrested.
So let's put this into perspective. She's a witness on the case, but she's advocating for Jake to get off easy. Who y'all think getting the blame?
Yeah, it sounds more and more like they finna snitch all the way on his homie.
Who y'all think getting the blame? I can just imagine how that call with the detective was going.
Our relationship has always been strong, and we've always been honest with each other. I did everything that I could think of over the years to get him to see other ways, to make other choices. it was becoming very obvious to us over the next couple of years into high school that he was just determined to find the wrong people, to be with the wrong people. Everything against the law, bad for you, was appealing to him.
I think
1090 Jake really came from a good suburban white family. He outside just tripping.
we need to double back on this case. We need to go back and see exactly what was said on that phone, because them detectives had to make note of that. If they was recording it and listening in that heavy to where they started reaching out to the aunt, then they had to document those calls, at least document that they listened to those calls. So we're going to go back and listen to that, or at least see if they made record of that. And we're going to also go back and for sure see what Aunt Kathy was coming to testify to, because she on that witness list. So we going to see what she was coming to testify to, and we going to see what her police interview said too, because they had to make note of that. If he talked to her for 2 hours, he had to
he for sure had to document that and document the fact that they spoke for 2 hours.
make note of that. They got to document this stuff, and we might have overlooked some things while we was looking into Jake's first case. I ain't saying nobody ain't do their job. I ain't saying that. Salute to everybody that looked into this before now. But nah, we about to go back and really look at this case, because looking at this sequence of events, I can pretty much tell you what happened. Jake got on the phone and dry snitched, and they was listening. His aunt got talked to by the detective. She came clean with everything she heard. She got put on the witness list. His homie said, hey, you know what? Your aunt talking. Jake like, no, she can't be talking. She don't know nothing. Whole time you on the phone telling her everything. Once dude heard that, he like, oh man, I gotta go ahead and tell my story and clear my name, get myself about this jam. Hey, they tried to bamboozle him straight up. But yeah, we gonna take another look at this. So y'all stay tuned. 1090 Jake Exposed is about to get real interesting. In the meantime, though, hit that like button for me before you get up out of here. Make sure you leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this video. What you...
Hey man, that's Byron Blake giving us some news we can use. Some knowledge we ain't finna get nobody's college, man. I'm up out here to the next one though. That was a tricky, icky, Mickey, Vicky, sticky situation. We out here to the next one. Free Avenue Angel Tweets, free. We gone. Yeah, man, for those of y'all who don't know, for the rest of this football season, I will be posting up a clip of one of my kids every week. Y'all gonna have to watch that at every video for a week. And every Saturday, we're gonna update with a new clip and a new highlight from my son's football game. They first year players, but they starting DN, starting outside, middle linebacker. Both the twins is on there doing a Dougie. So for the rest of this youth football season, you're gonna catch these clips, big dog, of my kids doing their stuff. But that all being said, we out here to the next one, man. Free Avenue Angel till he's free. Enjoy the clip.
Sexy bands on my name. How many shots to the center of a freak, nigga? 3 in his ass, lick his stomach, smell his pink, nigga. They throwing shots, time to see if them pussy niggas can take it. The nigga whack is a snitch and the jolly niggas are raiders. See, Lush was on to something, tried to act like it was nothing. Said you ain't know that freaky ass taker you was frontin'. Munchie ain't fucking with you, and Spider-Loc ain't gon' save you. If you wanted, you gon' take it. Stop them freaky ass behaviors. Let's get straight to the point, see, we ain't gotta wait for later. Nigga with your last name kidnapped that girl before he raped her. Said the moms of gang members don't deserve no piece of prayers. When General butt naked, the kid Tesher is your savior. You ain't gotta stall me out, cause I ain't asking for no favors. Get it cracking right now, we ain't gotta wait for later. Walked into your own building, heard my voice, and then you ducked away. Was humble like a bitch, cause you a hoe, stay in your fucking place. That nigga whacking slut and pathetic Flacco's a fucking lame. Whack ain't come outside because he hiding from his fucking gang. Talking like you tough when niggas spitting in your fucking face. T-Row didn't quit, we wouldn't even know your fucking name. Whack in front of Adam, but Adam is how he do you. See, Flacco lied on me and then Wack told me to sue you. Treated Wack like a bitch, you should have seen it, it was beautiful. Now every single week, that nigga Jala on my pupil. Is it Fred or is it Frederick? Is it Dave or is it David? All thighs on me. Flock a belly, now you famous. Type of creep nigga is you. How are you and Dave related? Nigga, no means no. You should have told him not to take it. I'm really in the field, you niggas stuck inside the matrix. From BET to the Knicks, down in Compton where your face is. That nigga real Jala got some freaky ass cases. Tryna fake fight Lush cause Adam wanted you to face. You wanna be like academics, making videos like point and shoot. You and Dave the same ass lane, we know the fucking truth. Brick ain't say this shit is a play, cause he don't fuck with you. He not gon' get involved when them real shooters come for you. If you grew up in the land, them thirsties, they would've humbled you. Grew up with them lions, I promise they would've hunted you. I get disrespectful, the next time I'ma punish you. You dirty fat bitch, I swear to God I see the bum in you. Niggas say they shooters till it's time to bring them guns out. Loose can't read and Wack lost his wife to Clubhouse. Treat Wack like a bitch, mark him out before he snitch again. Flacco, when I see you, I'ma show you the type of bitch you is. Niggas say they see me, they pullin' blick out. I promise that this Glock can make you sit down. Drum with a cooler, one for you, one for your brother. Wrap the string around the mop, sound like your dumb ass when you stutter. Swear to God, nigga.
Hear me out though, right? Wait, bro, wait. Again, wait though. Just right though, right? Wait though, right? I do want to